In inner engineering, Sadhguru opens by asking a simple but powerful question. Are you the maker of your inner experience, or are you at the mercy of it? This question becomes the foundation of the entire book. He explains that our joy, peace, and balance are not external achievements but internal capabilities waiting to be unlocked. Chapter 1 begins by exploring how we've outsourced our well-being to the world. Most people believe that joy will come from the perfect partner, career, or vacation, but it never lasts. Sadhguru emphasizes that this pursuit of happiness through external means is fundamentally flawed. He says, if your joy is determined by something outside of you, the chances of you being joyful in this life are remote. True joy, he insists, comes from engineering your inner world, just as you would design a machine for excellence. He introduces the concept of inner engineering as a spiritual and scientific process to take charge of your body, mind, and energy. Just like machines function well with proper design, humans too must be consciously designed from the inside. You don't need to be fixed, you need to be aligned. Most of our suffering, Sadhguru explains, comes not from life itself but from how we respond to it. The goal is not to escape pain, but to transcend it through awareness and mastery. Sadhguru then focuses on the body as a gateway. He says the body is the easiest starting point in the inner engineering process because it's tangible and immediate. Yet most people are completely disconnected from it, treating it like a vehicle they don't know how to drive. He suggests simple yogic practices to increase bodily awareness, flexibility, and vitality. The way you sit, breathe, and move are not just habits, they are spiritual technologies. He also warns that if the body is misused, it becomes a barrier rather than a bridge. Eating unconsciously, poor posture, shallow breathing, all accumulate into disease. In yogic terms, the body has a deep intelligence that can either trap you in limitations or liberate you into awareness. Inner engineering begins when we become intimate with the body, not in a physical sense alone, but in how it responds to life, stores memory, and holds energy. Chapter 2 moves into the mind, the trickiest and most powerful tool we possess. Sadhguru points out that most people are using a sword to scratch their backs. Their mind is powerful, but misused. Instead of creating clarity, the mind creates chaos. He explains that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. If you don't know how to use your mind, it becomes your enemy. But if you master it, it becomes your gateway to liberation. One of the core teachings here is the idea that you are not what you think, you are the thinker. This subtle shift can revolutionize your relationship with anxiety, overthinking, and emotional pain. Just because a thought arises doesn't mean it belongs to you or deserves attention. Sadhguru teaches the importance of distance, watching the mind instead of being consumed by it. This is not suppression. It is transcendence through awareness. He gives practical advice too. For example, if you want to quiet the mind, start with the body and breath. If your body is calm, the mind follows. If your breath is deep and rhythmic, your emotional storms settle. Yoga isn't just about flexibility. It's a methodology to bring the body and mind into harmony. Only when this harmony exists can you begin to experience what Sadhguru calls Yoga, the union of the self with the source of life. Sadhguru also emphasizes that joy is your natural state, not something you need to chase. When your body, mind, and energy are aligned, joy arises spontaneously. Children know this, but as we grow, conditioning takes over. We start believing that joy is something we must earn. But in truth, it's something we must allow. This first section of the book invites readers to stop blaming the world for their suffering and begin looking inward with curiosity and compassion. To close out chapters 1 and 2, Sadhguru encourages us to become engineers of our own experience. Don't wait for the world to align. Align yourself. Your body is your lab, your mind is your toolkit, and your awareness is your guide. If you're tired of being reactive, anxious, or stuck, this is the path to reclaiming your inner mastery. In part 2, we'll dive into the energy system and how you can elevate your life by aligning with cosmic intelligence. Sadhguru says, everything in the universe is energy. If you learn to manage your energy, you manage your life. This section of the book dives deep into a truth that both science and spirituality agree on. At the core, we are energy beings. But unlike electricity or nuclear power, the human energy system has memory, intelligence, and infinite potential. The reason most people don't tap into this is because they've never been taught how to align their energy, mind, and body as one system. In Chapter 3, Sadhguru introduces Prana, the life force. He explains that Prana is not breath, but the energy behind the breath, like electricity powering a bulb. When your Prana flows well, your life feels effortless. When blocked, everything feels heavy. Just as a garden must be watered from the roots, your energy body must be nurtured before your mind or emotions can truly settle. This is why ancient yogis gave so much attention to practices like Kriya, Pranayam, and Asanas. He makes a striking point. If you want to create anything, you must first create the right conditions inside yourself. Trying to change the outside world while being inwardly chaotic is like planting seeds in concrete. Your inner chemistry must be receptive. Sadhguru explains how every thought and emotion is energy in motion. If this energy is scattered, you feel anxious or drained. But when you direct it inward with awareness, it becomes powerful and focused, capable of shaping your destiny. Sadhguru then explores the concept of koshas, the 5 layers of the body: physical, mental, energy, wisdom, and bliss. Most people only operate from the first 2, but a yogi learns to move beyond the visible. He explains that joy is located in the Anandamaya kosha or bliss body. But unless you clear the lower layers of clutter, like unhealthy habits or rigid beliefs, you'll never access this inner core. Yoga is the art of peeling away the layers to reveal your true self. In Chapter 4, titled Knowing versus Believing, Sadhguru challenges blind belief systems, religious, cultural, even motivational. He insists that real transformation comes only from knowing through direct experience. He says, belief means you do not know, but you are not willing to admit you do not know. This humility to admit ignorance, he says, is the beginning of wisdom. Only when you stop lying to yourself can you start seeking truth authentically. This message is powerful for today's world where people often trade truth for convenience. Sadhguru doesn't attack faith itself, but the unconscious clinging to ideas we've never examined. Whether it's your thoughts, your God, your identity, or even your trauma, you must be willing to see if it still serves you. He describes the yogi's journey as not one of collecting knowledge, but of unlearning, stripping away all that is not you. That is how the light of knowing rises. Next, he offers tools to sharpen that clarity. Meditation, he explains, is not concentration, it's deconditioning. It's the practice of sitting with yourself and allowing the surface noise to settle so that your inner reality becomes visible. Much like muddy water becoming clear if left undisturbed, your mind too can find stillness if you stop stirring it. For beginners, he recommends watching the breath and observing thoughts as clouds without reacting or identifying. In Chapter 5, Sadhguru brings in the importance of balance. He uses the analogy of a bicycle. You can ride it only when it's in motion and balanced. Life is the same. Too much emotion or too much logic can tip you over. He introduces the concept of equanimity, the ability to stay steady in pleasure or pain, success or failure. A balanced person is not boring or passive. They are fully alive and fully grounded. This inner steadiness becomes the foundation of spiritual practice. He shares a story from his early life where he once felt euphoric in meditation and thought he had arrived. But soon, the bliss disappeared. He realized that chasing experiences, even spiritual ones, was another form of desire. Real balance comes when you no longer seek anything. Instead, you simply become available to life as it is. Joy, then, is no longer a peak, it's the ground you walk on. You become like a tree, rooted in stillness, reaching out to the sky. This section of inner engineering reminds us that transformation is not about effort, it's about alignment. When your body is healthy, your mind is clear, your energies are balanced, and your awareness is steady, joy is inevitable. You don't chase it, you radiate it. In part 3, we'll explore Sadhguru's teachings on death, liberation, and how to live with the awareness that this moment is all you have. If part 1 helped you see the tools, part 2 has shown you how to use them. Chapter 6 begins with a truth that hits hard. Most people confuse excitement for joy. Sadhguru says that what many call happiness is just a brief high, a spike that depends on external conditions. But true joy is your natural state, not a reaction. It doesn't come and go. It is who you are beneath the noise. He explains, joy is not something you achieve, it's something you uncover. You don't have to go anywhere to find it. You only need to stop creating suffering. Sadhguru compares the human system to a musical instrument. If tuned well, it produces beautiful music effortlessly. If it's untuned, it makes noise, even with the same effort. Your body, mind, emotions, and energy are the strings of this instrument. The more aligned they are, the more naturally joyful you become. No struggle, no fixing required, just the right alignment. He stresses again, it's not about belief, it's about direct, lived experience. In chapter 7, titled Living and Dying Consciously, Sadhguru turns toward the deeper dimension of yoga, consciousness. He explains that most people sleepwalk through life, only waking up when something shocks them, loss, heartbreak, illness. But the yogi trains to be awake every moment. Awareness is not some exotic state. It's being here, fully, now. It means noticing your breath, your thoughts, your sensations, without being swept away by them. He says, the only real freedom is freedom from your own compulsions. You may not be able to control every event in life, but you can free yourself from reacting blindly. That's inner engineering. Not changing the world, but changing your response. When you live consciously, you stop being a puppet of emotion, karma, and conditioning. Instead, you become the creator of your moment. It's not about detachment. It's about empowered presence. To help build this awareness, Sadhguru offers practices that train your attention. One is simply observing your breath, not controlling it, just watching. Another is becoming aware of sensations in your palms and soles. These are not tricks, they're tools to bring you out of autopilot. He says if you can maintain awareness even for 30 seconds at a time, you've started your journey. The goal is not to stop thinking, it's to stop identifying with your thoughts. One of the most liberating insights in this chapter is that you are not the body, and you are not the mind. These are tools, powerful ones, but they are not you. You are the awareness that uses them. Sadhguru compares it to a driver and a car. The body is the car, the mind is the GPS, but you are the one deciding where to go. Once you realize this, you stop being enslaved by moods, habits, or history, and you step into conscious choice. He also speaks about death, not to induce fear, but clarity. Most people live as if they're going to be here forever. But understanding the impermanence of life adds urgency and presence to each moment. Sadhguru says, only those who are aware of death can truly live. Death is not the end, it's a transition. And if you're fully alive now, death becomes just another doorway. Inner engineering prepares you to live in such a way that death holds no fear. He emphasizes that spirituality is not about renouncing life, it's about fully engaging with it. A yogi doesn't escape the world. A yogi lives in it consciously, joyfully, and with total awareness. This path doesn't require robes or rituals. It only requires honesty and commitment to inner growth. Whether you're a student, parent, doctor, or artist, you can apply inner engineering to your daily life. It's not a doctrine, it's a device for transformation. Sadhguru concludes the book by reminding us that everything you seek, peace, love, joy, is already within you. The problem isn't that it's far, it's that you're too distracted to notice. Through yoga, breath, awareness, and self observation, you return to yourself. You don't become someone else, you become more you. That is the heart of inner engineering. Not becoming a yogi, but becoming a full human being, radiant and alive. So here's your invitation. Don't just read or listen, practice. Watch your breath. Sit in stillness. Pay attention to the present moment. Begin to design your inner experience as intentionally as you design your outer world. The joy you're chasing is already inside you, waiting to be allowed. If this series helped shift your perspective even a little, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below. What part of this teaching spoke to you the most? And remember, transformation begins not with effort, but with awareness.